Welcome to Acoustic Chef, man, with Capel and D Will, and we have special guests Ebony and Regina. Also, I want to make sure, man, y'all don't forget to hit us up at Acoustic Chef Podcast at gmail.com. But we want to welcome Regina and Ebony.
Oh, also,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Also, yeah, please follow us. If you're on the YouTube video, subscribe to our videos. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate the love. We already got people following us, and we got people subscribing to our videos. So if you're watching and if you're following on Spotify or any other podcast, make sure you click that follow link.
So what's up? How y'all ladies doing today?
Doing great. How are y'all?
Good. Man.
Good.
Yeah, I'm good over here.
We did a podcast earlier about No Name, and at the time, Erykah Badu had made statements, but she was kind of on the same page as No Name, saying that like these rappers not doing nothing, they not saying nothing, they not tweeting nothing. But the baby just did a video called Rockstar. I think it's like the #1 song right now, whatever, where he's like depicting, being a black man with a police officer like on his back and stuff like that for doing absolutely nothing wrong or whatever. Have y'all checked that video out?
I saw that one.
I saw it.
Yeah, I saw it.
I could have done without that part of that George Floyd reenactment. Like, I didn't need to see that, but I like the song. I mean, it's good.
I actually like the visuals for it. I mean, I've been offended when I've seen people reenact it, but not through a work of art like that I think, is actually telling a story, adding music to it and lyrics. I thought it was a good display of symbolism. I understand that it could have been offensive, probably to the family and to those that were close to the situation. But I also felt like, I mean, we've had multiple black men in the same position, knees on necks, So it wasn't just exclusive to George Floyd, even though I know that was the intent to show.
Yeah, and that's what I was thinking, Ebony, is like the visual of it is hard to watch because everybody's like mind goes straight to George Floyd, and that was something so gruesome to see. But the reality is that's a lot of black men's that's their experience. They've been through that same thing. It's just hasn't been publicized the way it was publicized with George Floyd and some other people because it wasn't on video. That's a very common police maneuver on black men, and I think his symbol, him showing that symbol, was to represent this is what we go through as black men, not just this isolated situation with George Floyd, but this is what we as black men go through when we have to deal with the cops. So I thought that was a powerful video, man. The baby, he on one, man. He becoming one of my favorite artists. He is.
Yeah, he's straight or whatever. I'm not the type of person that like to tarnish the message that somebody trying to give. Like, a lot of people get discombobulated when the messenger gives the message because of the way the messenger looks, or you know what I'm saying, because it wasn't delivered perfectly and stuff. I'm just not one of those people. So I mean, I just watched the video for the first time. It didn't really do nothing to me because I understood the symbolism. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you was if your house was on fire and your neighbor from next door came and he was like butt naked and came knocking on the door.
All houses matter. All houses matter.
If he's butt naked and he comes like knocking on the door or whatever, telling you that your house is on fire, are you going to be focused on the fact that he's naked, or focus on the fact that he's saying that your house is on fire? You know what I'm saying? And I think,
hey, bro, I don't know if that's a good analogy.
Yeah, I may not even know his house on fire because I'm gonna
be like, the first thing,
pervert at my door.
Not his house.
You can put no pants on?
Not his house is on fire. Your house is on fire.
Hey, bro, I don't know how credible you are if you telling me my house on fire and you naked. I might not take you serious with your comments because you sitting there butt naked. I'm like, dude, you crazy. Clearly something wrong with you because you naked. I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying.
Which is my point. You're going to miss the message because you're focused on the messenger. Don't focus on the messenger. That's the point that I'm making.
Well, the messenger is gonna have to put on some pants. That's what I'm saying. But no, you're right, Dan.
He could have been skinny dipping and saw the fire, you know what I'm saying, on the top floor of the house or whatever. You downstairs listening to music, cooking and stuff. You don't know what's going on. All you hear the doorbell and you go to the door. He's butt naked, hanging and swinging and banging. Shout out to ESG or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
All
And man,
right.
you're gonna miss the message. You're gonna burn up. Stop focus on the messenger. That's the point of what I was just saying.
The real question is why you at his front door and he got to tell you your house on fire? Like, how did you not notice that in the first place? It's
Bro,
so
how
many
do
holes. It's so many holes in this analogy. So many holes
no, there's not so many hoes. Why do people burn up in their homes in the first place? This happens or
because
whatever.
they
You're
don't
not
have a naked man to tell them that their house on fire. Clearly,
exactly.
that's what it is.
You're not always aware that your house is on fire. I've had a house on fire before and didn't know that the house was on fire.
What's the naked man who told you it was on fire?
It wasn't a naked.
Where is it?
See,
Nah,
you
bro.
focus
I know what
stuck
you're
on the
saying. I'm just
naked
playing,
man,
bro. I'm
bro.
joking. I'm joking.
Why you stuck on the naked man, bro? So you want to tell?
You know what? We can move on. Yeah.
Yeah. So in other news, there's a beef between DJ Academics and Freddie Gibbs that's going on because uh oh,
Yeah.
you know about this beef? So
Yeah.
Freddie Gibbs made a statement and said that I don't you know what, I should have did my due diligence. I didn't even want to see the article, but he said that that Jeezy was relevant. I mean irrelevant. I don't know
Hmm.
why he said it, and I don't know the context that he said it in. Doesn't really matter. But then DJ Academics came back out and was blasting Freddie Gibbs saying if Jeezy irrelevant, then you know you don't even exist. You know what
Hey,
I'm
bro.
saying?
What I don't understand about this argument, this beef, is why it's even a beef. Why is DJ Academics rolling so hard for Jeezy? Jeezy ain't said nothing. Clearly,
Yeah,
Jeezy don't care.
yeah, straight up.
DJ Academic, you could have swore that that was his dude. And I don't mean dude like his boy. I mean like his boyfriend. Because that's the way he acting about it. I mean, I read all the tweets. Dude, they got like 20 or to 30 tweets going back and forth with each other about this. And I don't even know who the hell Freddie Gibbs is.
Oh, Freddie, nah, you gotta get up on Freddie Gibbs, bro. He
I don't
dope.
know him.
Yeah, he dope. He fire, bro. He kind of got like a '90s feel or whatever. I think he from like Kansas City area or something. That's what he sound like. Like he from the Midwest. So he got to be from the Midwest. But he got kind of like that '90s feel to him. His videos funny. He a dope artist or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't like the fact that he said Jeezy was irrelevant because I don't believe that anybody is irrelevant. If Snoop Dogg hadn't made an album in 25 years, but if he drop an album right now today, I'm gonna go check him out. So nobody's irrelevant. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. I just DJ Academics. I mean, the jury been out on him, bruh. I don't rock with that dude. I don't listen to nothing he say.
Yeah.
I know he credible as far as being in the game and doing this thing for a while. But man, this dude say some. He borderline coonish to me, bruh. Like even like whatchamacallit said it. Nipsey. He said it a while ago before he died. He was talking about DJ Academics and the comments that he some of the comments that he made, in reference to rappers and how they hustling and how they doing their things. He's like to him he was like DJ Academics is not credible. He was like, and I can't remember the context of it, but I know he made the comment that the comment that DJ, like the comment he made is like, you're not credible in the hood. So you can't come out and make those type of comments about us that's living in the hood doing what we do. He said, if you come and make that kind of comment, then you got to catch your issue. He basically was saying that kind of comment you made, you going to get yours. And DJ Academics has made comments like that, I mean, for years. You remember that Quavo, with Migo, he had Migos on the show. You remember that? They was doing
Yeah.
the interview. Them boys
Yep.
went hard at DJ Academics
Well,
because, I
no,
mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't really academics. That was Joe Buttons or whatever. He another one that be
oh,
like
Yeah.
yeah, that
Joe
was Joe
snapping.
Budden.
Budden. You're right. That was
Joe
Joe
Budden
Budden.
is
My bad. My bad. My
problematic
bad.
as well.
Academics was there, and he liked to make. I don't know why they like to make these inflammatory remarks or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand it.
I mean, I don't either, bro. I feel like it's all an act. I feel like it's all to create controversy. I feel like people are taking a page out of Charlemagne the God book. Charlemagne the God, when he first came out, when he was with Wendy Williams, they was so controversial, and people loved it. They would say whatever, and I'm not saying that it was genuine or not genuine, but I feel like the people after Charlemagne are not as genuine when they say certain things because people know what's going to be controversial, and that's part of what keep them in the news. Their comments in the news is sparking these controversies and causing these beefs and stuff like that. And I feel
Paid
like a lot of that is
agitators.
designed. Exactly, I feel a lot of that is designed, bro. I really do. But
Yeah, I don't like the paid agitators, but at the same time, like I think we be trying to protect what we think the culture is or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But as we stated before, like, I mean, there's many different shades of black. You know what I'm saying? So the culture of just protecting ourselves, there may be a nucleus or whatever, but as it starts radiating outward, people feel differently about different things or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Say like I take Terry Crews and what's her name, Candace Owens, for example. I don't like Candace Owens or whatever because she comes off as a person that hates black people. She hates herself, and she's a paid agitator. Terry Crews, I feel like, is probably misinformed and ignorant. You know what I'm saying? Just because he has an opinion, I don't feel like he's trying to attack the culture. He doesn't come off as a person that hates black people or hates himself or whatever. He just, maybe his ideals may be a little bit askew.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that because there are several times where he said something and then he comes back and says, "Okay, I apologize. This is what I really meant." But then he does it again. So, like, how long do we excuse the ignorance? Is he
I
that ignorant?
agree. Yeah, I agree, Gina. You can't be that ignorant because my thing is I understand people have different views, but you're a black man in America, black man in an industry. Didn't he play in the NFL at one point? Now you're an actor.
Yeah.
You've experienced some things. We can't pretend like, this is void of you. This is happening to everybody else but you. So when someone else is having these experiences, whether it's, you know, racial inequality, whether it's sexism, you have blinders on and you don't see it. So yeah, I actually agree that I don't believe Terry Crews is the same as Candace Owens, but like to Gina's point, how long can you be ignorant? And if you're ignorant, close your mouth because you have a platform, people are listening, and we're trying to move forward here.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
I agree. I agree 100% with what you said, Damon. Candace Owen and Terry Crews are different, but they both stupid. Um,
Well, yeah, I agree
and
with
and
that.
and when I say stupid, I don't mean not intelligent because you can be stupid and be very intelligent. And I believe that they both are intelligent people, but they're very stupid.
Yeah.
When you don't understand the damage that you do with your words, that's to me that's a level of stupidity, a high level of stupidity, because you're intelligent enough to where you should be able to see that. Candace Owen is a paid agitator, but I don't care. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows exactly the danger that she's put in, she knows exactly the message that she puts out and how dangerous her message is.
Yeah.
Terry Crews, on the other hand, is a different kind of stupid. He don't think his message is dangerous, but he's not ignorant either. His message is dangerous because it is not toxic to black people as far as saying, hey, he's right, but it's toxic to us because you have white people who looking at that. Like his message would speak more to white supremacists than Candace Owens. Because at least Candace Owens, she talks about black issues, but she talks about how they supposed to be fixed in the wrong way. She don't recognize systemic racism and stuff like that. But Terry Crews, he said, I don't want us to go from Black Lives Matter to Black is Better. What the hell are you talking about? We just want to be equal. We ain't
Yeah.
said nothing about being better than them. We ain't said nothing about black supremacy. We're not trying to run nothing. We're not trying to take over. You went to a whole nother level that
Yeah.
nobody is talking about. So now what happens? White supremacy. That's right. He's black and he sees it too. Black people are trying to take over. To me, that's just as or more dangerous than
Right,
what Candace Owens is saying.
right. Absolutely. Yeah. So maybe he did hit his head a couple of times when he was playing pro ball and and now he just goes, I don't know. He gets these ideas and he just says them. But it's absolutely okay to just not say anything at all, especially when you're uninformed or misinformed, as it seems that he is. Because here's the thing about him. So many people came to his defense, black people, when he was talking about how he had been manhandled or like other men had grabbed his genitals or, things like
I
that.
think, I think, I
Sexual
think, I
harassment.
think when that happened, when they squeezed his genitals or whatever, it messed up his prefrontal cortex. But go ahead.
Perhaps. Maybe that's what happened because I don't remember him saying anything like this crazy before that. But people supported him. They had his back. Black women were like, yeah, you're right. You were sexually harassed. That shouldn't have happened. But then when the tables turned and, when Gabrielle Union said what she said about being on the same show they were on together, And he said, well, basically, I've never seen any racial issues. It never happened to me, so it must not be true. And so I'm like, damn, she's one of the ones who actually supported your black ass. But then when the tables turn, you can't say, you know what? He could have said that wasn't my experience, but I see why she's upset. That would have been okay. But for him to act like it didn't happen at all because it may not have been happening directly to him, that was equally problematic. So I think he just needs to be quiet. Like, turn off your Twitter. Why isn't his wife saying something? Like,
Exactly, Jane.
I mean, she a white woman who probably co-signs what he says. You know, every great relationship,
Nah,
people
Is
communicate
she
with
a
each
white
other.
woman?
nah, he
Is she
married to a
white?
black woman. I think she mixed or something like that.
She's just physically ambiguous, but regardless, I mean, and
She
I don't
look white.
control. Well, I don't control my husband, but I don't know. I always question when someone has a black wife and then I hear them saying ridiculous stuff in the media because I'm like, she ain't tell you don't go out there and embarrass me. My husband can't embarrass me. Now I'm gonna try not to embarrass him too, but we gonna talk about this. Let's go over these notes about what you're about to say.
Okay.
I feel like even if she's not white, I feel like
not white.
she co-signs on it. Well, okay, she's not. She looked white, so I didn't know that she wasn't white. But my point in saying that for the most part wasn't because she was white is because people in relationships, healthy relationships, and it seems like they have a healthy relationship. It just seems that way. It may not be that way, but it seems that way. Usually when you're in a healthy relationship, you communicate well. So I feel like she probably knows how he feels about this, and she probably maybe feels the same way because I feel like if she didn't, he probably wouldn't be so outspoken with his ideals. I
I
mean,
feel like she hears what he's saying, and when he comes home, she's like, "What the hell? Why would you?" Like, he probably would say more if she didn't like stop him. He's saying just enough.
I mean that could be true. That could be true. You know,
I feel
like
like she's like, "No more today."
just in general with Terry Crews though, I'm done with that cat. Like it don't take much for me to stop paying attention to celebrities. You know, because I've never been like I'm not a starstruck person, so I like what people produce when they push out movies or music. You'll never hear me just like for the most part I'm not like this person who's just a super fan of individuals. If somebody puts out something that sucks, I don't love it just because it's them. I mean, if it sucks, it sucks. So when you come out and you say stuff that I don't agree with in general, that like has nothing to do with your craft, like what Terry Crews is doing, then I just kind of leave you alone altogether. Like I don't really support you. Same thing with Kanye. I love Kanye. His old albums, they're some of my favorite, but I can't support this dude no more because of his perspective and how he and what he believes in the comments that he has made. Because I don't have to. You're not a part of my life. You're not a family member, so you easy for me to drop. And Terry Crews, I'm done with. When he said what he said about Gabriel Union, that really was what started it for me. Because again, like you said, Regina, he came out and made a comment on something that had nothing to do with the situation. Like just like you said, I can't speak on sexism. You can't speak on racism either. You can only speak on your experiences, or you can speak on the facts of things that have happened. You can't
Right.
talk about somebody else's situation, or you can't compare your situation to somebody else's situation. So you can't speak on racism and the fact that Gabrielle Union is speaking on racism. If she's saying what happened to her happened, then you either keep your mouth shut because you don't agree, or you support her by saying, I even feel like, don't even say, well, that's not my experience. Just speak on what she said. Just speak on what she said. You know it's a problem in the industry, talk about the industry. Whatever you need to do, you say something that's productive to the situation. You don't discredit it in any way. So when he did that, I was like, okay, Terry Crews, that's strike one. Strike two and three came within the last month when he made those Twitter posts. you know, so I can't listen to this dude no more. I don't have no respect for his opinion at all.
Now I think strike that was strike three because strike one was when he came out saying that he let a dude, you know what I'm saying, grab his Franks and beans and he just, like coward, like
Look,
nothing happened. You know what I'm
look. You know what? Go ahead.
saying? Nah, but something else happened, man. I mean, this is just light news or whatever, but French Montana came out and said that he think in a live show he could go head to head with anybody, and most notably he gave up Kendrick Lamar. He said he didn't say that he was a better artist or nothing like that. He just said in a live show he could pretty much smash anybody or whatever. I like French Montana. He cool or whatever, and I'm not knocking nobody feeling themselves and have confidence or whatever. But I done been to a Kendrick show, buddy, and and Kendrick. I mean, just besides being one of the greatest artists that we've ever seen or whatnot, bro, this dude did a whole album, To Pimp a Butterfly. If you didn't listen to that album from beginning to the end, you missed what that entire album was about. You had to listen to that album from the beginning. Nobody does that type of stuff anymore. You know what I'm saying? So he's like an old soul. But in any event, that's not the point, because he's talking about a live show. And Kendrick live show, he got a live band, he got bass players, he got, you know what I'm saying, piano players, all of that type of stuff. And I'm sure everybody has that at certain points of time, but it's just the energy that you get from his show or whatever, man. It's so much energy, man. Like, and I'm sorry, French, I don't think you can match that, bro. And I don't even have to go to your show to be able to tell that.
I don't think he can match it. I don't know much about French Montana's music. I really couldn't even tell you. I think one song he had, Unforgettable, I love the song. And then I found out the parts that I loved wasn't even him. It was the Sway Lee cat. And I was bamboozled. I was talking about, why does everybody think he's not talented? This song is amazing.
Straight
and
up.
then when I listened to it, I was like, oh, none of the parts are French. That's amazing. So
Yeah.
I don't know. So I can't speak on the situation, but we know Kendrick. I mean, his name is just synonymous. It's great, you know. So, but I'm glad that everyone should have that confidence, and everybody should want to challenge themselves.
For real.
You know,
Hold on, before you say that, the only way French Montana show could be better than Kendrick live show is if French Montana didn't perform and brought Kendrick out. And Kendrick performed. Nah,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
you know, I'm always, and maybe I'm becoming a skeptic of artists and people when they say stuff. But again, I feel like that was just an attention grab. That boy know he can't hold a candle to Kendrick Lamar. Some people are just born to perform. I'm not talking about your lyricism. Like, they got a lot of guys who got great lyrics. Man, I know you have, Damien. But have you ever listened to like those ciphers where the dudes be rapping, battle rapping against each other?
Yeah.
Those dudes have
Yeah, my
bars.
husband makes
You know?
sure.
They have bars. They can rap, but they're not performers. There's a reason why a lot of those guys don't make it. You know, some people just born to perform, and Kendrick Lamar is one of those people. He's not just a lyricist; he is a performer, and that is rare. That's a very rare thing as a rap artist, because most rap artists that are popular, they sound good with their craft. The musicality is really good. You like listening to it. But if you look at them perform on the BET Awards, it's like, oh, that was good. A good, show in the back because somebody put that together. And this is a song that you know and love. Some people like Kendrick Lamar. I will go see his show because of his performance. Like, people will go see Beyonce's show because of her performance. Like, certain people's performances are just unmatched, and Kendrick Lamar is one of those people. And French Montana, first of all, don't nobody want to see you perform. That's the first thing. Like, you decent as an artist, but don't nobody even want to see you perform. So that in itself speaks volumes. But French Montana,
Man.
is he related to that dude Juicy Smouye? Cause he talking a lot of bullshit just like that dude Juicy Smouye.
I was like, I know that guy. Who's that?
Hey, don't do French like that, bro. French got a following, man. Don't
Don't do Juicy like that.
People wanna follow French, you know what I'm saying, and want to see him perform. Just more of us want to see Kendrick. So don't do him like that, bro.
For sure.
Okay.
I hear you.
So all right, today's topic, what we really wanted to talk about today, and I'm gonna let y'all go in because I don't know if y'all gonna like where I'm gonna go with this one or whatever. So I'm gonna let y'all have at it. But we want to talk about the ladies of hip hop, the Saweetie, the Megan Thee Stallion, the Cardi B, the Nicki, you know what I'm saying? let's not forget about Lil Kim and Foxy and all of those ladies back in the day or whatever. Are the lyrics too raunchy? Are they too over sexualized? Are they too
I,
overstimulating? I just saw Megan Thee Stallion video and I was overstimulated. You know what I'm saying? So is it too much?
I can't speak because
Hold up. And Jermaine Dupri called it stripper music. Go.
I can't speak because of the Me Too movement, and I don't want to incriminate myself. No, I'm
No,
just
you
playing.
can.
I'm joking. I'm joking. But no, y'all go ahead because I do want to hear y'all's perspective first. To be honest,
Okay, Gina, you want to go? Or I mean, I think I'm loving that the wave of female rappers. I mean, every day I'm hearing about new female rappers, and they're actually very lyrical. I think the content that they're putting out, it just gets a little boring when all you hear about is sex. All you hear about is how somebody can give me head or what they can do for a Birkin bag and all of that. But I will say that I do like that women are taking ownership of their sexuality and feeling free with what they're talking about. Because I think men rappers have been doing it so long. Men have been talking about what they're going to do to us, and they're
Straight
making
up.
money off of it. They've been calling us all kind of hoes, bitches, or whatever. So I'm not saying that we can't take that power for something positive. I do wish that the Cardi B's and the Meg Thee Stallions would also put out equal content that's positive, because I raised daughters. My daughters want to hear female rappers,
Yeah.
and it's very difficult to censor the music. It's only so many bleeps you can put in the music, or so clean, so you can't really make this music clean, because even if you take out the cuss words, the content is still there. But yeah, I would rather they didn't always twerk. I would rather that they didn't always talk about fellatio and all of that. But at the end of the day, it's what's selling. So, like we say, take the power by taking the money. So if we're putting our money and our views in the streams, if they're getting 1 million views on YouTube, then what's going to happen? These record labels are going to continue to push it. They're going to encourage it. But I actually love that they're taking the identity back. I just think that we have to channel it differently, because we, at the end of the day, we still want respect, as women.
Straight up. Straight up.
Yeah, I missed
welcome,
work.
welcome back, Regina.
I missed work. My computer turned off, just
Oh,
like
Gina.
randomly turned off. It's a work computer. It's cheap.
Uh-huh.
But thanks, work. I didn't hear what you said, but maybe I'm mirroring those sentiments that I think that's what sells right now. The raunchy lyrics are what sells, because there are several like female rappers like Chica and like Rhapsody, Tierra Whack. They're all doing.
Yeah.
They have fabulous music. Like, I love Chica. I love her, but her music doesn't sell like Cardi B, or probably because she's not twerking and stuff. So
Right.
Cardi said something about this like last year. She was like, when I rap about other stuff, those songs don't go number one, but when I rap about my my box, it does. So that's what I'm gonna keep rapping about. And so, I mean, if that's what sells, then that's what sells. It's the sexualization is just it's necessary to make money in the industry, unfortunately. I mean, to be as big as Cardi B or Megan Thee Stallion, that's kind of what you have to do as a female rapper. And it sucks for these other ones that are out here who are good as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a catch-22. It's just I agree with what both of y'all said. It's for me individually. I speak on my own. It's kind of hard for me to choose a side on whether I think it's too raunchy or not. The simple answer is yeah, I think it is too raunchy because I don't think it's necessary. It shouldn't be necessary. It shouldn't be. Let me say that it shouldn't be necessary for women to have to rap that way to be to make money. Because I guarantee you, if you gave those women a choice and said, hey, you'll be just as big if you choose to rap using just the art and craft of the music, or rap about your body and sexualize yourself, they would probably choose the art and craft of the music. they're probably rapping this way because they know that's what sells, and it sucks that society is 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 that way to where a woman can only rap and make it big to make that amount of money that Nicki Minaj is making and Megan Thee Stallion is making, to sexualize themselves like that. Like I've heard Megan Thee Stallion rap on other people's things, and I mean in her own album as well, and she can rap. Cardi B can rap. They both have lyrics. Like they're like Nicki Minaj. Everybody know Nicki Minaj is a lyricist. Like she don't have to rap about her body, and I think she's at a point right now where she can make music without, sexualizing herself because people recognize her as a lyricist. But Megan Thee Stallion is pretty new. Cardi B been out for a few years. She's still relatively new, but not new. But they actually can rap, and I think Regina, what you said is true. Like that's just what sells. I think, but at the same time, I'm with you, Ebony. Is like that. That is a, I don't want to say a danger. It's not. I don't want to say danger, but at the same time, it's like you have young women listening to that. Like you see little kids. Like Regina, you work at a school. You see how those kids they singing those lyrics and don't even know what they're saying. They dancing on each other, and it's like sad when you see those kids doing those things. Like that's what they see. They see the videos, they hear the music. It's like it's like you don't want to see kids doing that. As an adult, we can listen to it and we grown. It's cool because it's for adults. It's not for kids. But that's mostly who's listening to it, buying the music. And that's the part that I don't like about it is because the audience is not just the adults. The audience is also kids. And it does have an effect. I know people say stuff like, oh, it's just music. It do have an effect to a certain extent. Not all music, but some music does have an effect. And it doesn't mean that those kids are going to be bad. It doesn't mean that, when it comes to sex and stuff like that, like I know there used to be an argument about rap music and violence. And I honestly used to be one of the people that said, I feel like rap music may perpetuate violence. I was wrong. I don't believe that no more. But I used to be that way. But I do believe sexualized music stimulates sex. I do believe that. And to me, there's proof of it, But I mean, I wish it didn't have to be like that because these women are talented artists. They have a gift to produce music, and unfortunately, in order for them to be successful doing it, they have to sexualize their body. It's kind of like WNBA and NBA. Those women are just as good at their craft of playing basketball, but yet we don't recognize them as being great athletes, and they don't get paid the same. And I know there's other things that go into that, like the amount of money that they bring in and the owners and all that stuff like that. But just in general, I've watched girls basketball at a high level, and it is entertaining if you sit down and just watch it. I wish they had dunks in it, but take out the dunks. It's still pretty good,
Yeah. Well, Capel, I agree with you in regards to, pretty much everything you said, but I do believe that music is like a universal language. It's like sitting down for a meal, right? You don't even have to speak the language, but when you hear some good music, it's just good music. And I feel like when you have music that's sexualized, so when we talk about violence, I did not like when everybody just said, oh, they're killing each other because of the rap music. No, but I do think that everything is a segment. Everything's an ingredient into the bigger rest of the meal. I think when you have kids, so like when I was a kid, I would sneak to listen to certain lyrics. And the radio, they bleeped out even the word damn. I used to have to, like us all, record the music, fast forward, whatever. But I think now the music is so readily available you can't even keep it from anybody, like just like television. You didn't see any cuss words or sexual things on television unless you had cable or unless it was after a certain time. So I think if you have children from the age of 2 listening to something like Cardi B or Meg Thee Stallion and all those kinds of things, it becomes normalized, right? So just like with we could say like the drug culture, no, rap music, hip hop did not start drugs. It did not push it into our communities. But then when you have music that's just talking about drinking lean and popping Percocets and all those kinds of things, it heightens the inquisitiveness in children. It normalizes it. Just like when I was a kid, or even when I was a teenager up into college, being a stripper, and this is not to talk about those, because everybody chooses a profession that you have to do. I don't judge it. But when people that I knew stripped, it was because we all were thinking, oh, we got to make money or put ourselves through school or those kinds of things. Now it's, oh, well, why would I go to school to do this when strippers are making this money, or I can snag an athlete or a rapper? So my thing is, when it comes to the lyrics of the music, if you're telling, if the kids are hearing this message and it's repetitive, it's almost like brainwashing, right? If you hear something long enough, you're going to believe it. You're going to do it. It's normalized. Then, I just feel like when you get to a certain level, and I guess this is hypocritical of myself to say, oh, well, if you're Nicki Minaj now, you can change your message. But I kind of believe that now you're here. You don't even have to have the record labels anymore. It's like a Beyonce. Beyonce can she can just talk on her phone and put it out, and everybody's going to buy it. So I think that there's a responsibility there. I do understand that people have to do what they have to do to get into the industry, but there are many dope artists that have chosen to just be independent. They're still sexy without overselling sex. Gina mentioned Rhapsody. I love Rhapsody as well. She's so positive and a great lyricist. We have lyricists, I think they may be in Houston, I don't know. 3D Nati, Lady London, they're sexy, but they don't overly sell sex. And they're probably the best lyricists if anybody listens to underground female rap.
I'm gonna have to check them out or whatever. I agree with what everybody said, and at the same time, I feel like I don't like the fact that we even have to have this conversation or whatever. For the simple fact, like my daughter is a artist. She likes to draw and stuff like that or whatever, and so naturally, me being the type of dad that I am, I try to bring my kids into the fray of different things and things that they may like to do and stuff. So I took my kids to see Picasso or whatever because he was, they had his art in Houston or whatever at the Manil collection. And I left out of there feeling like Picasso was a pervert. I left out of there feeling like Picasso was the first, had the first Playboy magazine or Hustler magazine or something like that or whatever, because he had so many genitals, you know what I'm saying, like on all of his paintings and stuff like that. And I'm like, why? This dude probably been dead for a few thousand years or something like that or whatever, or hundreds of years. Why are these paintings being displayed in this fashion or whatever? Like, this is the move, like this is what it is, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like what's happened is they've marginalized society. You know what I'm saying? They keep us within these constructs to where we feel like we can't express ourselves. And when we do express ourselves or whatever in certain manners, if it's counterculture or counterintuitive or whatnot, then it's like, oh, you're doing something wrong. And we've been like that since being on the plantation. You know what I'm saying? We've been trying to serve the master. When we came off the plantation, and we was doing something that another black person saw you doing it, and it was deemed humiliating or embarrassing, then they felt like, well, you gonna set us back. And we've been hearing that same type of stuff like our entire lives or whatever. Like, you gonna set the culture back, you gonna set black people back 100 years and stuff like that. How come when this person does something to embarrass themselves, why are they not just embarrassing themselves? Why is that? The entire culture is going to get set back. And that's only because they've weaponized these stereotypes and stigmatas and made us feel like anything that somebody does, like kids walking around. I mean, we started sagging and stuff like that or whatever. When we see kids sagging now, we kind of cringe when we see that or whatever, because we like, damn, what are you doing? White people gonna look at you a certain way. We don't need validation from anybody. That's for all humans across the board. You don't need anybody else's validation to validate you being a human or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And I don't have a problem with these young ladies expressing themselves the way that they do. I don't have a problem with over-sexualization and none of that type of stuff. I just feel like we need equalizers, and we do. We got like Tierra Whack and people that y'all named and stuff like that or whatever that, we probably need to try to bring them, get them bigger platforms and stuff like that. And we got positive shows like this where we talking about these type of issues or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I never liked the fact that Oprah and Dionne Warwick and all of those older black people spoke out against hip hop and rap music and stuff like that neither, because even when white people don't like what other white folks are doing, they don't speak out against it. Like, you have the white people rocking the listening to heavy metal and being gothic and wearing spikes and stuff like that. Nobody says they're indicative of the entire white group of people or whatever. Only when black folks do something do we look at it as, oh, that's indicative of who they are as a people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you're letting your youth and letting the worst people indicate who you are as a people. You know what I'm saying? When Dylan Roof did what he did, when Ted Bundy did what he did, we don't look at it as, oh, that's white people. You know what I'm saying? And that's what white people do. They're rapists and mass murderers and stuff. But we probably got a violent problem in Chicago, and we've allowed them to leverage Chicago and weaponize black on black crime. Like there's no such thing as no other race on
Race
race
crime.
crime. You know what I'm saying? So we've allowed them to weaponize these stigmatas against us. So in short, like I say, I don't have a problem with these ladies. I just wish there were greater equalizers, like Tierra Whack and people and No Name and people like that or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I agree with what you're saying because what you're saying is absolutely the truth. I just also feel like at some point something has to change, and usually change is sparked by a person or a movement. And the you got to look at reality. And in speaking of reality, I do want to talk about reality because reality is it doesn't exist, but it does exist at the same time. I know you're probably like, what the hell are you talking about? But when I say reality, I don't mean my reality. I mean look at it, how it's perceived in the public, right? So you right. We have to have an equalizer, but currently we don't have equalizers. We don't because the music that's pushed out is the over sexualized music that artists like Cardi B, Nicki Minaj, Megan Thee Stallion, City what those girls name?
City
City
Girls,
City
girls.
City
Girls, yeah,
Girls.
Sweetie them.
Weedy.
And by the way, they trash. City Girls, they truly trash. Like and I don't mean trash as women. I mean as artists.
Hey,
Out of
that's
all the
Chappelle
people
saying
we
that. City
name,
Girls.
out of
I
all the
like
people
that.
we
It's
name,
fun music. It's
City
fun though.
Girls, they elementary with their lyrics. But anyways, it is fun music. They got some good beats. They get the right music, and you can dance to it. But anyways, that's just my opinion. So there are no equalizers right now, and you know like I say, any movement, there's somebody that has to step up and say, you know what, I'm tired of this. I don't like the way this is. Let's do something about it. And usually that person has to be a person that has some power in that particular field. And that's why when Ebony says somebody like Nicki Minaj, she probably is like the perfect person. And I'm not putting that on her. I'm not saying she has to. But if you can imagine for a second, if she comes out and actually starts a movement, actually says, this is, the fact that I have to use my body to sell on records. This is not right. And from now on, I'm not going to do that. Like, this is the kind of music that I'm going to make, and she starts to make that kind of music and she gets Cardi B and like they do it together. Then guess what? Music going to get pushed now. That's a different level of music that's going to get pushed. Artists, I mean, the record companies are not going to go out and, well, let's go find some other sexy women and give them record deals. That's not what's going to happen. Those women are going to be, that music is going to be pushed. And now you have other artists such as Rhapsody, No Name. They're going to get pushed more because they're already rapping like that. And I think that's a movement that can actually happen, but it takes somebody to start it. And like I said, I'm not saying that they have their responsibility to do it. They don't. They do what they want to do. But the reality of it is what you're saying, Damon, is absolutely correct. And I'm not judging them for the music that they're making, but the way that it is perceived and the way that and what they are doing is because of reality, because of that's what they have to do, and the way that it's perceived by kids, like everybody talked about, that's reality, is because that's all they're listening to. So it's either a cycle that's going to continue. I think we can all agree that, and maybe not, but I think we can all agree that these women make this music simply because they feel like they have to, for the most part, to make money. Like
I disagree.
there may be an element of it that they would still, there may be an element
I
of it that
think
they
it's
would
cool.
still, there
I
may be
like
an element of it,
Oh, go ahead.
there may be an element of it that they like, but not necessarily that's all they want to rap about. As I'm talking about collectively, I'm not talking about individual artists. I'm talking about collectively, because collectively they all sexualize themselves above anything
You
else in their records for the
you
most
forgetting
part.
one thing though, bro.
What's that?
And what I don't agree totally with what you're saying is because we not in the women's locker room. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what women talking about. They could be just as sexual as we are, but we don't know it because society has put constraints on them that, oh, you can't talk about fellatio and stuff like that or whatever.
No,
You
that's
know what
not
I'm
what I'm
saying?
saying at all. I'm not saying that they don't want to talk about it at all. What I'm saying is it is not, I don't think it dominates their, I don't think it dominates their life like the music makes it seem. That's what I'm
You are
saying.
right.
That's
Okay,
what
You're
I'm
actually
saying.
right. You're actually right, Capel. It doesn't I don't think, I can't speak for all women, overly dominate our lives. But I will say is how many times do you get a Lauryn Hill, right? So, the record label's gonna sign 10 Lauryn Hills, and give them that platform, or are they gonna get the rotation? It's true, but if you have 10 Cardi B's, they're all gonna get the rotation. So no, we do want to talk about us. We want the freedom to talk about sexuality, and we want to be able to talk about it the way we want to talk about it. But we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and women are powerful. And if we get that voice, we'll probably have to build our own platforms to be able to have these voices and to talk the way we want to talk freely.
But it didn't start out this way though, because MC Light wasn't twerking
Queen Latifah,
and what'd you say?
Queen Latifah.
Queen Latifah wasn't like that. Missy Elliott. I mean,
You just named three women who I
They
don't
was
want to
the
say.
only. They was the. Nah, okay. She
Well,
named them three.
MC Light is married, but I will say this. I will say they still had a ceiling, that was placed upon them. Yeah, they were. And so when we talk about those MC Light, the Yo-Yos, the Queen Latifah, the
Salt and
who was it?
Pepper.
I
Yeah.
rock rough and tough with my Afro puff. She's from Houston.
Ray.
age.
Rage.
Rage.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rage.
So yeah, these women were great, but they still had. When you think of that rap star for female, who do people go to when they're talking about Lil' Kim? And why are they talking about Lil' Kim? Is it because Lil' Kim was great, or are they actually bringing her affiliation with Biggie? Like is it being tied to a man, or is it because you felt like Lil' Kim could stand on her own? I thought she was great, but I don't think that if Lil' Kim didn't have Biggie, I don't think she would have got that notoriety that she got. I think our success has always been attached to a man. And when you break out of that, being attached to a man is being attached to sex, So and Lauryn Hill she was with the Fugees, So, but I do feel like she made it her own, So I don't know, but I do think that it's very rare and in between that we get those voices that are not attached to something else that's a stigma.
Yeah, and I, when you say Lauryn Hill, she was attached to the Fugees, but I don't look at that exactly the same as being attached to like a male group, like Lil' Kim was attached to Biggie. Like Biggie promoted Lil' Kim, like they actually put her out. Lauryn Hill branched out on her own, and she became successful by herself. Like
Right.
she was I mean, I think she was recognized a lot also because she was a talented actress as well. So I look at her a little different. She was able to stand apart from the rest because she had a talent and it was recognized and she was marketed in that way as an individual artist. And I feel like, but you're right, they're not going to sign 10 Lauryn Hills. Like that was like an anomaly, because she was rapping as well. She wasn't just singing. She was also a rap artist. She started off, like you said, with the Fugees. She was a hip hop artist, and then she created her own album, and she was singing and rapping. But Regina, I want you to finish because you said, I don't feel like you got your whole point out, and I do want to hear your point.
I don't think that women rapping didn't start out like sexy and it's over sexualized. It didn't start that way. It became, I guess, more popular to be that kind of artist, but you don't have to be in order to be successful. It may take a little bit more time. But I'll tell you, when Missy Elliott first came out, and I'm using Missy because I remember her because I was like in college when it came out. I was like at the laundry place doing my laundry, and that first song that came out, and I heard it on the radio was I Can't Stand the Rain. And I was like, oh my God, who is this? Who is this? Like, I got to know who this is. And they played her songs over and over again. And I was like, who is this Missy Elliott? When she came to St. Louis, I went to see her. And I also went to see the other artists as well. Cause there wasn't, it wasn't like a Foxy Brown and Lil' Kim were better than Missy Elliott or anything. They all came. They performed at the same venue. They came at the same time. They all, it was like a whole big concert. They all came together. And so it was they weren't in competition with each other. They all performed. They all had their own little thing. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't, I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't have to be that way in order for you to achieve the kind of success. Because, I mean, yeah, you've got MC Light and Queen Latifah, and they did their thing, but they were both doing other things as well. Queen Latifah had a talk for a little while, but
Yeah.
on Living Single, she also does, you know, other movies and things like that. So it's not just the music; it's just putting themselves out there and in other ways. Like Cardi B doesn't have to just. She didn't even start out like as she is. She was on what was that show? Love and Hip Hop.
One of those. Yeah.
She was on a reality show. So, and she just she was like the breakout star. So that's just what worked for her. So I think that, you know, whatever is working for you. Megan Thee Stallion said something like, "Oh, I used to watch BET Uncut late at night, you know, and with my door closed, hoping that nobody would catch me. And then I knew one day I was going to be able to be one of those stars on BET Uncut." And I'm thinking like, Uncut? That was all naked shit we used to watch when we was kids, hoping that nobody would come in. So she was aspiring to be that kind of rap, kind of artist.
Yeah. So I'll say this, and maybe this don't paint the whole picture, but I use Cardi B as an example. You're right. She started off on Love and Hip Hop, one of those Love and Hip Hop shows. But what she was doing while she was on that show, what she was doing first, she was stripping, right?
Yeah.
And is she stripping now?
She says she don't have to anymore.
Exactly. It's because if she never had to, she never would have. That's the truth. Like if she loved stripping, she could be making money right now stripping because she love it and still be rapping. And to me, that like is what speaks volumes about, you know, women and in this industry sexualizing themselves to make money when they shouldn't have to sexualize themselves to make money. Now, if you all for doing it because that's what you want to do, like you really want to do that, fine. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
but I feel like a lot of women do it because they feel like that's what they need to do.
Bro, but it's fun though. Quentin Tarantino is not a killer. He's not a psychopathic killer, but he killed everybody in his movies or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Why we not having that discussion about Quentin Tarantino and Scorsese and Michael Bay and all of these different people? You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, bro, you're gonna have to
expression.
go a little deeper in your analysis because I'm not following you.
Freedom of expression. The fact that they're able to express
Hey, bro, that's
themselves
not
in this
what's
way.
argued. That's not what I'm arguing. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's a difference between the freedom to express yourself. I don't believe anybody has said anything about them not that they shouldn't do it. I don't think anybody said that. What I'm saying specifically is that the fact that she's doing it, it feels like it's because she has to. And a lot of other women do that because they feel like this is what I need to do to make the money that I want to make. And I don't think that should be the norm. I think
All
the
right.
norm should be I can do this because I want to do it. But if I
Well,
want to go do this, I can do this as well. That's what
that's
I'm
what's up.
saying. Yeah.
So anyway, we running long time. So have y'all seen the movie Game Night?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
haven't
I
even heard of it.
have. I have seen that movie.
Y'all haven't seen it?
I
I don't think
have.
I've heard of it.
Oh man, it's with Jason Bateman and the girl that played on The Notebook.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
I
don't know her
love the
name.
Notebook.
What's
It's
her
a
name?
comedy. It's a comedy. I don't remember her name either.
I think she got it in her contract that she got to be in love and get married in every one of her movies that she in.
But
Cause
this movie was hilarious. I mean, I don't know, Ebony and Regina, I don't know how y'all are with like silly comedies, but this is one of those silly comedies. It
As
got
long as it's not
it's
like
not
Dumb and Dumber.
it's no, it's not that
nah,
kind of
it's
silly
not like
comedy.
that.
No,
It's
it's
not
not
Okay.
that.
it's
Like
not
a date
slack.
night kind of movie.
Yeah, it's not slapstick comedy. It's really like well thought out, funny or whatever. Like Jason Bateman, if y'all know, you know who that is. Jason Bateman pretty solid with his
Yeah,
writing and direction and
yeah.
stuff. So
Okay. And Rachel McAdams, I love her. So from
that's
the
her
Notebook.
name. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
from the
her,
Notebook.
Rachel McAdams. Okay.
She was also Stephen Strange's you know what I'm saying, love interest. Uh who else? I just seen her in a recent movie. I'm like, dang, like she always, you know, like the perfect girlfriend or whatever. You know
She's
what I'm saying?
typecast, so we don't want her to be a killer or a stripper. She got to stay that way.
Straight up. All right, anyway. So what we got on toe today, Capel?
I mean, what's on toe for you?
What's on toe for me when I step out today? I'm stepping out in my blue and black Jordan 4s, which are my favorite. Like Jordan 4s are my favorite pair of Jordans or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Probably besides the 11s, but the 4s are probably my absolute favorite, man. I think I've only worn these like one time or whatever, and I only wore them to the movies because they got carpet. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be walking on on concrete. You can see the bottom of them,
I was
not
about to say,
even.
let me see the bottom.
You
Okay,
know what
I
I'm
believe
saying?
it.
Like I want
Those
to
are
one
nice.
time,
They are
That's,
nice.
maybe twice.
that's you be clearing the bottoms. I can see you now with
Hey,
a
bro,
toothbrush
I
and you
don't,
Toothbrush and
cleaning
some
bro.
the bottom.
Comet
Bro, I
bathroom
Yeah,
swear,
cleaner.
I don't, bro. I just, man, like I say, I walk light, man. I be levitating. I learned all the levitation from y'all. Remember Dawson on Street Fighter 2?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I learned how to levitate.
Nah, I like them though. The fours, they one of my favorites. I got three that I like. Three Jordan brands that they equal to me. That's the 11s, the
Yeah,
fours, and I like the ones. I just don't buy them that much no more because they like real trendy. But I
they be
like them. I
selling
actually
good
was
though.
looking for that pair, and I waited too long, and now they like $400 or something like that. I'm not
Yeah,
spending that, but
yeah, them ones sell good too. You check out StockX, them ones be selling like certain pairs of them anyway.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
What's on toe, Ebony and Regina? Nah.
If I have on
See,
shoes.
on toe, I've got this fuchsia pink nail polish on my toe.
that's what's up.
Tiki Punch. I think it's called Tiki Punch.
Oh, I like that.
That's what it
And I have
is.
my
Already.
workout shoes on. After we close down the show, I'm probably gonna get a workout in.
Oh,
Cool.
that's good. That's good.
That's what's up, man.
That
So
early workout is what's up.
we appreciate y'all coming on the show. I love this dynamic, man. We're thinking about having Ebony and Regina on permanently. Hopefully, if they feel like blessing us with their presence, like
Yeah,
that. So
yeah.
this is Acoustic Chef, Acoustic Chef Podcast at gmail.com. Y'all have a good day.
Yeah.
Peace out. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for having us.